Ever had this moment? You're lying in bed, lights out, phone put away, when it hits you. One day, I'm going to die. Your chest tightens, panic rushes in, and instantly you scramble for escape. What's for breakfast tomorrow? Talking about death is like talking about death. Everyone has a relationship with it, everyone will face it, and almost no one wants to deal with it seriously. Because, let's be honest, it's terrifying. But here's where it gets interesting. 2,000 years ago, a Greek philosopher named Epicurus said something that sounds absurdly simple, yet oddly calming. Death is nothing to us. What did he mean? Epicurus argued, while we live, death isn't here. When death arrives, we're gone. So why fear something we'll never actually feel? To him, the fear of death was just fear of a sensation that doesn't even exist. It's surprisingly comforting, right? But there's a problem. The human brain isn't a computer. You can't just delete the fear of death folder. Modern psychology has its own answer. It's called terror management theory. The idea is simple. Fear of death is baked into us, a kind of default software. Most of the time, we don't notice it, but deep down, that anxiety fuels almost everything. Our need for meaning, our drive for love, our obsession with achievement, our desire to leave something that outlives us. So, of course, when the thought of death pops up, our chest tightens. It's just a brain whispering, "Be careful, survive, don't let it end." And when someone says, "I'm not afraid of death at all," maybe they just haven't had that 3 a.m. panic spiral, or their brain signal is still buffering. So, how do we live with this fear without letting it crush us? Modern psychology suggests a few tools. First, mindfulness. Research shows mindfulness reduces death anxiety. Why? Because it trains us to accept impermanence. Everything blooms, everything fades. Like a flower, or like your Wi-Fi dying in the middle of a Zoom call. Painful, but part of the deal. Second, spiritual traditions. Almost every culture offers its own way to face death. In Buddhism, death is a transition, not an ending. In the Abrahamic faiths, death is a gateway to heaven, or a process of reckoning. In many indigenous cultures, death is a return, a homecoming, to ancestors, to the Creator. Details differ, but they all share one thing. Death isn't just the end. There's more beyond. And that belief alone often softens our fear. When you weave philosophy, psychology, and spirituality together, one thread appears. Being afraid of death is natural, but it can be softened. Epicurus gives us logic. What we fear never actually meets us. Psychology admits the panic is real, but manageable. Spirituality offers comfort. Death isn't nothingness, it's transition. The goal isn't to erase fear completely. It's to shrink it until it no longer owns us. So, when that thought hits in the dark of night, pause. Breathe. Tell yourself, yes, I will die someday, but today, I'm alive. I can call someone I love. I can eat spicy ramen. I can laugh. Seen this way, death stops being a monster at the end of the hall. It becomes a gentle reminder. Our time is precious. Think of it like a movie. If it never ended, we'd get bored. But because it ends, every scene feels more meaningful. And here's the twist. Making peace with death doesn't make us passive. It makes us braver. We say, I love you before it's too late. We take risks. We live fully because we know the clock is ticking. Epicurus never promised we'd be fearless, but he offered a lens. Fear can shrink.
Psychology gives us tools. Spirituality gives us hope. The rest is up to us. Do we live in the shadow of death or in the light of the life we have right now? So if that thought comes back in the middle of the night, don't panic. Just greet it like an old friend. Oh, you again. Fine, sit with me for a moment, but don't stay too long. I've got a life to live tomorrow.